Imagine if I just recorded like this, with there being no one in the frame. Probably shouldn't do that. There we go, I'm back with a fresh haircut as well. If there's any delay on this video, I do apologise. I'm thinking there probably isn't, but I can't be certain. And if there is, I'm not sure how to fix it other than actually my laptop is just not quite up to scratch anymore, which is possible. I think it's getting old. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to look into getting a new one or not. The only reason I would do that is if once I've actually started earning money, and by golly gee, looking for a job is it's not easy, even with like even with a degree. But yeah, well, I think most people understand that's not the most important thing. The point is, if you're anywhere from the age of 16 to 30 and you're looking for a job, and anyone tries to tell you that it's easy, tell them to die, because it's just. I'm very lucky to have parents who are actually very conscientious of the world, understand that things are harder than they used to be. Anyway, point is, welcome back to Overclock Showcase. If you watched the end of the last episode, you would know that we actually are kind of back on track now that I'm doing lead spray. I need to open the window. Lead spray in the correct order. But what this means is, obviously, things got jumbled around a little bit. Basically, next week is going to be Sabata. The Sabata, and then the Boomstick. And then the Breach Cutter, basically. That's the order that we're doing things in, just to get back on track, because I just jumble things around for no reason for myself. Anyway, lead spray, of course, unstable for the burst fire pistol. Quite notorious overclock, I would say. Significant damage boost, increased base spread. I think it should say massive damage boost, significant increase in base spread. It is inaccurate as all sin. I mean, look, it's got 400% base spread, as opposed to the usual 100%. Wow. Also, I've left it in its thumbnail costume currently. It doesn't fit with the look, but I think it fits with the overclock. I mean, obviously, two builds. Overclock Showcase, I show you two most distinct builds. Lead spray is obviously an overclock entirely focused around just dealing single target damage. I think there are ways to build this thing with blow through that do make sense. Neither of the builds will be showcasing that. Both builds have a bit of a single target focus, but slightly different approaches, basically. This one is the all-in, basically. It's the all-in, and the primary weapon was basically designed to support that notion. I have criticisms of this overclock that I will get into as soon as we start playing. But for now, let's just go through the fact that this is how you build this overclock for maximum damage. You will notice, however, the stun in tier 5 as opposed to the longer burst. There's a simple explanation for this. There is absolutely no reason to use a longer burst on the Burt, basically. I think I'm going to just be very dogmatic about that. I think it's genuinely a pointless upgrade. The only reason you wouldn't want it is if you get so much crowd control from your primary that there's no point. But we do. I have Thunderhead with Fear, and Thunderhead with Fear is one of the best crowd control tools in the game. But at the same time, we still want the ability to, when we turn around that Praetorian so we can shoot it in the weak point, I want to be able to lock it down. I don't want it to keep running away from me. So the stun is actually very important. But yeah, apart from that, it's all damage, which includes the weak point, which is really tricky with lead spray, because lead spray increases our spread so much. But it still paves the way to the best DPS. And like I said, the primary is built to support that. So because we also have both damage mods. God, I wish I could take floating barrel here, but I decided I'm going to make one. It's just all damage. But we do have recoil dampener to help a little bit on the accuracy front. Just a general stability support. Like I said, yeah, primary is built to support this. So it's always going to be Neurotoxin for this. That's not essential for lead spray. I do want to talk about the fact that I feel like this has exposed to me a real problem with the Burt's ammo economy, but in the specific case of going all in on damage with no ammo upgrade, it was going to have to be Neurotoxin. Neurotoxin is probably the most efficient primary configuration for Gunner. The other option probably would have been potentially mortar rounds, actually. Mortar rounds, maybe cluster charges, maybe mine layer system. Maybe. But I think the Fear on the Thunderhead is really what brings it together. Not that the Hurricane doesn't have an easy way for crowd control, but Fear is a little bit more useful than Stun, especially when it comes to the weapon that we're supporting in the other slot. So to build it for maximum just efficiency and crowd control, just basically everything. I took ammo, accuracy, direct damage, AoE, and of course fear. Now, of course, we've got accuracy, direct damage, and AoE. AoE is literally just so, you know, we're taking the AoE, so we apply the effect in a larger radius. As long as you've painted all the grunts with the effect, they're going to die. That's all you need. By taking accuracy and damage, I actually have the ability to sort of laser down weaker enemies. Basically, the point is, this thing's ammo is so scarce that you really can't justify using against anything that you can't guarantee weak point hits against. So there are certain high priority targets, stingtails, spreaders, spitters, those kind of things are going to be Thunderhead direct damage jobs. What I've discovered through using this is that I do use up the Thunderhead ammo very quickly. This is not a weapon built to support Neurotoxin Payload. It's the other way around. This is Neurotoxin Payload built to support lead spray, which means that we burn through ammo way more than you normally would with Neurotoxin because you're probably using a more efficient secondary usually. So yeah, I will be burning through this thing in a way that you don't normally see with Neurotoxin, but the way I see it, this is how I'm going to support this basically damage greed lead spray. But and sticky grenades kind of work to give us a lot of leeway of just a decent explosion that can handle groups of enemies, but also fear Praetorians and things like that. It's the most sensible one. Anyway, obviously we're going for max damage, so let's go for the things with the most health. It's elimination time. I think that's an obvious through line there. I'm just going to scurry over and turn my fan on. Right, let's check everything's working. Good, everything's working. Quick, everything's working. Anyway, I'm trying to think about when this video is going to come out. I think it's going to be... Ooh, it might be mid-August at this point. I'm recording on the 20th of July. I'm still trying to get ahead so I can do more stuff for the Electromagnets video. Which really, you know, if I really wanted to make it, like, quickly, I would have done it by now. I'm just, you know, it's important to note, these videos... Okay, actually, there's a better way of wording this. These videos, and all the news videos, are the channel. Anything else is extra, which means I'm really going out of my way. And I'm basically, the point is I have made like just autism, clearly. A very hard routine that I find it difficult to add things basically into my schedule. And that would include working on a video. So I'm just going to all the lengths I can. I've already recorded 4 different basically gameplay clips for it. Or just sort of chunks of gameplay footage that I can use. I've recorded 3 missions using electromagnets, and I've recorded 1 with ultramagnetic coils as like a counterpoint. And that might be all the footage I need. I should probably still play with electromagnets more. Part of me was hoping I was going to get it to use for this video, but that didn't pan out. But I think pretty soon I'll be comfortable starting to like put together the actual like slides I'm going to use for the video. Because I can imagine it. It will still be in the style of an Overclock workshop. I'll sort of present the Overclock in the same way and then present different versions. I think UMC will be in there just sort of presented as well, just to sort of counter, just to show how pointless electromagnets is when the coil gun exists. And even taser bolts is going to come up too, and sort of different... Basically, I'm going to make a bunch of different versions, like different graphics to show different versions of electromagnets that I think would be better. I think I now have a much stronger idea of how I'm going to do it than I did before, so I think as soon as I start working on it, it probably should come together quite quickly, but I'm not sure exactly when it's going to happen. Anyway, I guess it's only appropriate now, though, to... I mean, eliminations have pretty hefty pressure waves, and so that's where we're not missing out on just general enemies. Like, you get big groups of like grunts and things like that spawning, and I think one may have just spawned. So I can hear a goo bomber, but doesn't mean it's a massive amount of enemies. Okay, not clear where. But yeah, so using Neurotoxin but with direct damage, it's actually been in my sort of portfolio for longer than you might think. I've definitely done this before. I don't know if I've done it for a video necessarily, but I have done this, and it makes sense because Neurotoxin provides all of the direct damage that you need, or, opposite AoE. As in the effect itself. Those grunts, all the grunts that got hit by the effect are going to die. It's basically the idea here. You didn't actually hit all of them, but either here or there. And because we have things like breeders as well, because it's just like, am I going to be able to hit the breeder's weak point? Not easily. I mean, I've got an idea for how I might do it. I'm going to try and work on that now. Oh, like, actually, no, this is perfect. He's lining himself up. Yeah, I actually missed a couple shots there. I missed about 2 shots there, I should point out. But that still showed how quickly this thing takes things down when you actually hit the weak points. At the same time, I do still consider this overclock an economy nightmare. Right, actually use my shields. I don't use my shields enough as gunner. I've noticed this. They're there to save you. So if you're gonna die, use them. I often fail to remember that. But as you can see, we're already below 100 max ammo or 100 spare ammo on our Burt. It's just an ammo hog. This overclock is ridiculous. Well, actually, it's not even the overclock. It's really just the weapon itself. But you know, it's why missing is so painful, and that's why it having an accuracy penalty is so punishing. Not that I'm going to come out of this with a negative conclusion about lead spray, but it might not be. It might be a bit more lukewarm than you're expecting. It's a very extreme overclock, and I don't think it quite justifies its extremeness. I'm probably more likely to use experimental rounds. I mean, when it comes to the Burt, I'm most likely to use lightweight magazines. That, I think, is actually the best Burt overclock. But lead spray is definitely second when it comes to like overall usability and power. That's not good. Yeah, we really need to hit weak points. And if, for example, this Goobermon, I've got no real reason to use the Burt again to kill it. I'm just not wasting ammo. The Thunderhead is just... It's the saviour, really, of this. I want to reiterate, not of lead spray, specifically of the all damage build of lead spray. The other build is much more generous, and you'll see because my primary is a much less economic weapon configuration. I'd be able to guess what it is already, but just from me saying that. Anyway. Obviously that man is just going to die at some point. I think it's, you know, you need to see something more exciting. Although a shellback did just show up, but the thing about shellback is hitting its weak point is such an ambiguous task, you know. Because I don't have armor breaking on my Thunderhead. Yeah, that was pretty much how I expected that to go. Right. Need to get up here. Spreaders are an enemy I might end up shooting with the Burt because they're actually, their weak points are so, you know, deviously large that it works, but probably not this one. Anyway, that Praetorian, I kind of want it to come down here. I'm going to use the Burt against it. Okay. Oh, I actually didn't need to use 3 of them there. So yeah, obviously, look, we're already pretty much at half ammo on the Burt. And I don't like that, but it does do damage. It does. It just does. I have to give it some credit. Not that I enjoy doing that. I'm not like I'm not a Burt supporter, really, but I'm also not a Burt hater. If I can see a reason to give it some flowers, I'm not going to cringe at the thought. But I'm also not going to go out of my way to find things to compliment it on. Unlike the Bulldog, which is a weapon that I kind of do know isn't that great, but I still like to find things about it to compliment. Burt is basically the opposite. Well, no, the Burt isn't the opposite. The Burt is probably, I would still say, is a worse weapon than the Bulldog, but I just feel less compelled to like try and find what's good about it. Anyway, there's only so much I can do to make this not just a Neurotoxin payload showcase, which I guess is really the idea is to mainly show the Dreadnought fights, but it's also still worth showing what is, you know, an appropriate accompaniment to this configuration for lead spray. Like, this is showing you why Neurotoxin makes sense as your primary. I hope. Alright, well, I finally got to one of the Dreadnought rooms. We have another breeder, which is fine. And a Barrage Infector, which is also fine. You see, literally 3 shots, we almost did all of that breeder's health. 3 shots killed that Warden, and I didn't even hit all of the shots because it didn't get stunned at all, which means that it hit it. None of those bursts actually hit in full, so you could probably do a Warden in like 2 shots, really. Barrage Infectors are actually something I basically had to learn how to fight properly for this video, because trying to kill them at range is a pain in the arse with lead spray, basically. So I was like, I need to find a way to get up close to them safely. And I found it's actually fairly simple. Basically just start running the moment that they're about to fire, and then you should be able to get up close. I kind of fucked up a little bit there because basically one of the projectiles went out to the side and hit something closer than I would have liked. But yeah. Brood Nexuses. I think there's no real point using the bird against these things because most of the damage comes from when you actually destroy an eye. Obviously, it does deal more damage, so I might as well just give it a go. There you go. It does a lot of damage, but most of the damage comes from actually destroying the eyes themselves. And the Thunderhead can do that as well. Now you can see why this burns through Thunderhead ammo. But it burns through Thunderhead ammo more than you would normally with Neurotoxin. Is the point. Anyway. I'm actually below half ammo on this thing yet. Yes, I am. I'm not below half ammo on my grenades, though. Perfect. Hello, chums. Let's try and hit some shockers with a sticky grenade. Nice. Lovely. Is that Nitro over there? Yeah. Alright, well, I think it's high time to kill one of these Dreadnoughts. Show you what this can do. I actually first tested around this build on elimination, but I wasn't using the direct damage on the Thunderhead at the time. And that made getting through like the shield phases of these things really painful. Obviously, Twins is different. Okay, I've got it. That's fine. I mean, I think overall I'd still rather probably not fight the Twins. But getting through like the shield phases was really just dubious. Just took way too long. But now we've got direct damage, there's actually a reason to not stop firing, if you know what I mean. Sentinels, for example, they can't even get feared, so there's really no point. There's just no point. There's no point using the Burt on them. We will use enough Burt ammo when we actually get through to the high blood's weak point, but it makes sense, basically. Obviously, you don't want to rely on the Thunderhead's AoE for this part, because obviously this is going to be direct damage entirely. Because it only does 3 damage in the in the AoE radius of Neurotoxin, unless you upgrade the AoE damage, which we're not doing. There you go, didn't even get to do a single attack in that form. I'm still at plenty of Thunderhead ammo as well. Even though I laid into both the shields and the Sentinels with the Thunderhead. I mean, I'm not sure if Neurotoxin actually decreases direct damage at all. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. So it does retain base Thunderhead direct damage, which is good. Thunderhead's base direct damage is good, so it's going to do alright, and it has the Neurotoxin in tow. It's just good. Yeah, it's great. Neurotoxin is just so ridiculously good. But they could easily nerf it further, and it would be great. It's such a stupidly good overclock. Also, it just looks nice. Like changing the literal color of the projectiles and the like the explosion. It's very tasteful, I find. I mean, I'm not going to be able to kill it anyway, so I don't mind. Like, the health is going to be left on when it finally chooses to go grey is going to be more than doable when we get through the shield again. So, it's taking longer than I would have thought. Okay, there we go. If I was going to get hit by that. You know who I am? Fucking Barrel. I'm shouldn't let it go to my head. It doesn't mean anything. Like damn near the only game I'm good at. Actually, I'm good at 2 games. I'm good at this and Hades. I'm really good at Hades, I think. Not that I've done 64 heat or nothing, although I will be trying to. Although, you know, it's still the case that only one person's ever done it. If you don't know what that means, then play Hades. It's probably the best game ever made. Yes, it's better than Deep Rock. It is. I'll say that happily. It's much better than Deep Rock. Love Deep Rock. It's like not, you know, Deep Rock's like a 9 out of 10 for me. It's one of my favorite. It's a 9 out of 10, and it's one of my favorite games ever. But Hades is one of my favorite games ever, and it's an abject 10 out of 10. I think objectively, it's crazy. Anyway, so that was easy. Not actually that quick, I suppose, but that's obviously because I'm basically just using Neurotoxin Thunderhead for anything that isn't when the Dreadnought's weak point's exposed. So it's not going to go by super quick, but it still went by quite efficiently, let's say. Obviously, you can see that I used a lot more Thunderhead ammo than Burt ammo in this case, but that is perfectly fine. The Burt still did its job perfectly. And I am not doing my job perfectly currently. But yeah, there's not much to say. I mean, lead spray is just a case of like it's building around it is very. Okay, that coffee's cold now. Touching that, building around it is very tedious because you're accounting for something that yes does do massive damage, but is very limited in terms of at what distance from the enemies you can deal that damage from. And when you're not taking any kind of accuracy mod, and you're not taking any more ammo than base, you run into the problem of the situations in which you can actually use the thing are very limited. That is my biggest criticism of this weapon, is of, well yeah, actually of the weapon and of lead spray, both for those things, the Burt and lead spray, is that you kind of need either either an ammo overclock or the ammo upgrade on the Burt to kind of be able to use it in more than, you know, a very specific set of scenarios. So look, it's an oppressor over there. Oppressor's perfect. Perfect bait for us. Perfect fodder. Especially with our accuracy bonus, or a weak point bonus. Obviously, the Burt doesn't have a weak point bonus at base, but we have a very powerful one in tow, which I rarely do. Which is why I use lightweight magazines normally. Lightweight magazines or lightweight cases is a balanced overclock, balanced ammo overclock for the Burt that gives it a lot more ammo, enough so that you are noticeably over what you get by taking the ammo upgrade, even without taking it, basically. So I always take the weak point mod on that. It's very good. I think that is. I think that is the best Burt overclock. I understand why someone would argue for lead spray, but I think lead spray is it's just much more unstable. Its range is such an issue. So I've taken something that has just insane, for my primary, just something that has insane levels of ammo economy and crowd control combined. Is the only way to really facilitate lead spray doing what it does best. And on the Burt, I can respect that, but when it comes to gunners secondaries, I think you can match what it does pretty easily without using it. My first thought would be probably triple tech chambers, which is equally frivolous in terms of ammo, by the way. Triple tech chambers built for direct damage is very, very ammo hungry, but at least it has, you know, infinite range and goes through armor. Or sorry, not infinite range, but it does have infinite range, but it has, you know, perfect accuracy and goes through armor. So I would, you know, not going to complain when I get triple tech chambers to do for this series. Because I think, what did I do before? Was it backfeeding module? Is that the one I got at first? Because it's definitely a good one. I think that's what it was. I'm not actually sure. It wasn't... Actually, no. I think it was UMC. I think it was ultramagnetic coils, which is crazy because it's like my favourite overclock. Hi. Okay. Alright. Let's go find that second dreadnought.
Where is it?
Kind of google them up close. Do it. Yeah, I mean, that's arguably, you know, I two-shot it, really, you know? I mean, 2 shots from the Burt, 2 shots from the Thunderhead. Even though it's actually 8 shots overall. It's not the point. Uh-oh. Wow, I'm very surprised I hit 3 shots on that guy. Is that jetty boots? Okay, you know what? I literally haven't used jetty boots since starting this series. So I'm going to use that during extraction, just for the hell of it. I won't use it during the dreadnought fight because that wouldn't be right. But extraction, all bets are off. I think.
Weapon ready. Resupply pod is here.
So this is going to be a nasty environment for this.
Well done. Secondary objective completed.
But I think I can handle it.
Ready to kill some more.
I think I can handle it, by the way. I don't know that I can. Wins? Normal. Normal glizzy. Okay.
Okay, come here.
I haven't actually been able to do this yet with the Thunderhead damage. Which basically, what's going to be happening is I'm going to be just laying into the shield with that. Literally 4 shots and less than 12 bullets though, which is why I don't know. I don't know. I can't justify taking 6-round burst. I think it's not good. It's not a good upgrade. I mean, I don't even really need to spurt at this point. But I will. There we go. That's nuts. Right. Where are the JPs again?
pod en route. Hang in there.
Watch this.
Jet boots unlocked.
It's not as hard as like the other hacking mini games, really.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Jet boots activated. Getting supplies.
Yeah, I mean, going into this, I would not have said that either of these builds are inherently better than the other. I think that's still the case, but this went a little bit better than I expected for this build. It always feels like I don't have music on, but I do. It's just really quiet. In fact, I think I could justify the music a bit louder. Okay, that wasn't much louder, was it? Oh, an oppressor. I mean, having serrated edge in the pickaxe kind of makes oppressors a lot easier. Especially when I'm doing whatever I'm doing right now, just dancing around it, like, pointlessly.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
Jet boots on.
The mule is secured. Initiating
Okay.
launch sequence.
There you go. Let's break mission 1.
Good work. Drop pod
Good,
to leave
isn't it?
all
It's a good overclock. Does a lot of damage.
That's one for the books. Retrieving escape pod.
Like I said, the next build is still designed for it to do damage, but we're just taking a slightly different approach. A less unstable approach, if you will. Hold on. This little lady is hungry for tuna. She's a little old lady as well. She's quite old. Aren't you? Yeah. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to feed her until I'm done with this. Well, actually, no, I could, but it's not going to take that long. You can see on the windowsill. Cat cam. Brilliant. Great, so sunny you can't actually see outside, so I'm not doxing myself by doing this. You know what? That's not a bad idea. But I'm not sure I have the stones for industrial sabotage right now. Oh, could I do it? The thing is, the primary weapon, the minigun. I'm using a minigun with this one, the second build. Really not suited for this kind of thing, but at the same time, it also kind of is. Okay, you know what? Let's do it. I'm not going to have more enemies on though, because and you'll see why.
Drop pod team.
Hopefully you'll see why. Because I'm using Lead Storm. Look at this guy. It's great. Lead Storm. Well, yeah, Lead Storm minigun. But I'm using Bullet Hell. And Bullet Hell, I acknowledge that it is good at what it does, but I don't think it can handle like the more enemies, like more than normal Hazard 5. But yeah, so this is basically built a little bit more strangely, if you like. I don't really know how to differentiate the primary, really. It's kind of the same thing. It's like, you know, omni, like range, very sort of aimless, you know, very light on aiming, basically. Crowd control and crowd clearing. It's just, you know, probably spending a little bit more time shooting with this one. But the Burt in this case is built a little bit less. Basically, this is the more aggressive. Actually, is it the other way around? I don't know. I don't really know. They are different though, because I've got accuracy and ammo in this case, and also reload speed. Tier 2 is up to you in this one, but this Burt, obviously it's lead spray still, but I've got ammo this time and accuracy. So we still have got a lot of damage, but we're missing out on, apparently it's 5, even though it goes up to 40 from 36. Pretty sure that's 4. She's pushing her head against the blinds. What are you doing? And this is great because it just gives so much more range and basically more targets basically to use it against. That's kind of the idea here. This thing has a lot more targets we can use it against, while our primary is kind of the opposite. The primary is pretty much just for grunt and Mactera swarms, and that's it. Which is why I've got all ammo, hot bullets because I'm not a chump who needs cold to the grave to help me, and blow through rounds. Blow through rounds or stun it's kind of like a bit of a conundrum, but blow through. I think it's blow through. It's got to be blow through. It just has to be. So yeah, it's not the most complicated build, but it handles stuff, and it gives Lead Spray the means to take out enemies at a longer range, which is what we're going to need for the Caretaker, basically. And hopefully you can see why I'm not too confident in the minigun for this mission. I think it's going to do pretty good against sniper turrets, but not much else when it comes to like the robot enemies. We'll see. It's could end up being a fail. I'm going to try my best. I'm not saying it's going to be a fail because I'm going to subconsciously sabotage it. Although we are doing a sabotage. But I can see it happening because Industrial Sabotage is such a test for builds that are not focused on it. Builds that are, you know, when a build is not focused, you know, I wouldn't call this a generalist build. I probably wouldn't take this build into elimination. But an Industrial Sabotage is obviously very elimination adjacent. So I am doing something slightly unchecked, really, by taking this into Industrial Sabotage, but I guess I do have the balls for this. I am Dave !Yognot, and I have the balls. Anyone got that reference, by the way? Anyone got that reference? We're friends immediately. Anyone who gets obscure Yogpod references to my friend without introduction.
I'm full. Where's Smalley?
Alright, I'm leaving the starting room with no enemies having spawned so far. But our Soda Nitro, 114. That's a lot for a starting room. I know it's Industrial Sabotage, but still. What do you want? Oh. Okay. Oh, and no turrets yet either. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna have to open the blinds a little bit. Okay. Anyway, there's a sniper turret here, and that's kind of what I intended the, this is the one robot enemy that I think the minigun might be able to handle. Actually, hold on a second. Moving on. And shredders, but you kind of need ground from which to do that. Anyway. Okay. This sniper turret might need to use the against. I just missed there for no reason. Okay, that was fine. Wasn't perfect. Wasn't a terrible sin either.
Out of the way!
Okay, okay. That didn't feel too bad. I've used this build a fair bit, but not at all against robots. So we might be in for something here. I'm not sure. I mean, I did, you know, I was very upfront about the fact this might be a good idea. Oops, she's gone out the window. Okay.
Hacking pod has arrived. Establish a transmission tether from it to the power station.
Right, here's our first patrol bot. Naturally, I'm going to miss an entire burst or actually kill it. Got such a way with weapons, don't we? Right, here's some actual normal enemies. Yeah, having the freedom to, first of all, have more range and just more ammo with lead spray is really nice. I personally think this version takes advantage of the damage that lead spray gives more than the, you know, all-in on damage kind of thing. And the same goes for experimental rounds. It's really the ammo overclocks that allow you to go all-in on damage, which is kind of, you know, little bit ambiguous given the fact that, you know, they give you your actual damage per shot is lower than what it is with these overclocks. You know, this and experimental rounds. I don't know. The Burt's a weird overclock. It's literally got an ammo and damage overclock. The Burt's a weird overclock, I said. The Burt's a weird weapon. It's literally got a damage and ammo overclock in every category, and I just think that dilutes it in such a weird way because there's always going to be one or two that rise to the top, and you know it's lead spray and you know lightweight cases. And I think experimental rounds and micro flechettes are kind of interesting. Like micro flechettes, I think is actually fine. I think it's way too much. Maybe not way too much shit. It's not good, but it is interesting. Especially the fact that you can just stun lock Praetorians and to just. I mean, the Burt can do that anyway. I don't know. Micro flechettes is weird. I don't hate it. I think it probably gets a little bit too much hate. A little bit. Like I said, it's not really good, but I mean, it deserves to be, you know, treated as Satan either.
That's it. Established. Time to activate the hacking drone.
Actually, the thing about this positioning is this is like where I would put a resupply for the caretaker anyway, so it's actually pretty perfect for us.
Supply pod launched. Better stand back.
What I'm not too good at being is actually aggressive with this minigun, but that's because it just goes through ammo so quickly. I don't like just starting, you know, I don't like just shooting it just because it's an enemy nearby. Anyway, so you might be wondering what's going on there while I was shooting the Praetorian in the mouth. Well, we don't have a weak point bonus on this burst, so there's actually no point, you know, only going for the Praetorian weak point. We can go for the mouth just fine. It's just slightly harder to keep it stun locked by hitting it in the mouth, because there are, you know, bits of armor close to the mouth that are easy to hit. But apart from that, there's nothing wrong with shooting in the mouth, so long as you don't have a weak point bonus. Because Praetorians only have 1 times weak points. That's the kind of thing that literally makes me want to make a video about like weak points, like enemy weak points, or just weak point damage in general in Deep Rock. Okay, that was a bit of a weird. That was a bit weird. That was a bit... Oh, I've taken a lot more damage than I realised.
Get out of hiding! Get back to smashing that keyboard!
The hacking drone is at it again.
Definitely quite generous not having, you know, more enemies. It definitely makes things a lot more lenient, to be honest. But I think I needed it, really. Shame to say. I needed to make things easier for myself. But for me, I think there's definitely also value in practicing with bullet hell. It's an overclock that I don't have like particular fondness for, and obviously that video will happen at some point.
Got the oppressor!
Wardens are an enemy that you absolutely do want to hit in weak point because they have a 3 times weak point. So any direct damage is going to do triple damage. Right, where is this other hacking station going to be? Or power station? It can be this way. I don't know. You don't need to see me search for it. That's boring. I have found the way. Here's a repulsor turret. Propulsion turret. Oh my god! Bunch of grunts coming, isn't there? Yeah. Music to my ears. Look at this idiot. Oh god, look at these idiots. Plural. It's a lot of nitro. I mean, I know that's what sabotage is, like a nitro abundance, but it's quite excessive. Just how much is being placed next to each other, more so than the actual total amount. The total amount's not that weird. Well, so this is actually quite a long path, really, isn't it? Right, here we are. Sniper turrets? Sniper turrets? Where are the sniper turrets? Oh, they're up there. Okay.
Just take your sweet time, old lady.
Okay.
I've got all day. Help me mind this. Zip line ready. Down the hatch. Sniper turret disabled.
Sniper turrets are no trouble.
Second hacking pod is launched and incoming. Stand back.
Anyway, I think I should be able to get through this pretty well. I'm going to call in a resupply, so it's fine. I'm not going to need... I've already got one over there, anyway, where the first power station was. I'm going to have at least 3 resupplies near the caretaker, and that's more than enough. So, pretty confident about this, actually. Look at that. That's Bullet Hell actually killing a patrol bot, not like fairly quickly, because I was bouncing the bullets off the ceiling into the weak point. That's actually really cool. I don't get to do that very often. Actually, I think I've done that before, but ages ago. Not quite sure I deserved that.
Bosco, you are the best. We'll have a connection in no time.
Wow. I unpaused just to show myself walking off a ledge.
Power station. Stop the hacking.
Brilliant stuff. Exhilarating footage.
Getting more ammo.
Hacking has commenced. Protect the hacking drone.
Oh dear. Hello. Fuck you.
We need some pest control on the hacking drone.
No, I actually think flipping these builds could be really interesting. Like the weapons, basically. Like using this mini shark, using this minigun with the Burt from the previous build would be really interesting, honestly.
Get into cover.
Hacking drone resuming hack.
I was pretty stupid to ever think Bullet Hell was bad.
The hacking drone is under attack.
That's a bit silly.
Anyone who knows his way around those sorts of scared of you. All clear. Back online. Shield charged and ready.
Hack commencing. Both power
Blimey.
stations are down. The vault is only shielded with emergency power now. Get back there and disable it. We're almost in.
No, this is actually going really well, to be honest. Apart from that one little fuck up that I didn't deserve. I mean, 3 Praetorians is quite the dense threat to deal with.
A secondary objective has been achieved. Bonus will be transferred to your accounts on mission.
And I basically, I was fighting them as if they were going to die quickly, basically, which is where I went wrong. Alright, I'm just gonna get back to the caretaker. But some enemies spawned. Oh. Oh dear. I mean, who knows? Maybe the other build is better. Yeah, it's these two idiots. Hopefully, if it sends out like shredders and sniper turrets and things, there will be stuff for the minigun to do. I mean, obviously the bullets also bounce off enemies as well, which means they might be able to bounce off of the appendages into other appendages. I'm thinking. Hopefully, what's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see.
I can't carry anymore.
Really any great spots for resupplies around here, really, is there?
Resupply ordered.
Because actually, I probably should have one
Supplies are coming.
in some kind of high ground.
Deployed up.
And where that high ground's going to be. Yeah, here. As far as caretaker arenas go, this isn't particularly spacious. I think we'll be okay. We'll be all right. We'll make it through. I'm really hoping the cement mixer across the road isn't audible. I don't think it is. I did a quick test before I started. And I know it hasn't been on the entire time as well. So anyway, let's do it. I haven't done industrial sabotage in a while. In fact, I pretty much don't do them except when I get, like, you know, stricken by the urge of the challenge to do one in a video. So it's usually, they're pretty much all on recording, the ones I've done over the last year. I do still like the caretaker fight though. And I especially love the, like, you know, its death animation. It's actually fantastic. Anyway. It's actually trying to ricochet off of the appendage into caretaker, which is fine. I don't mind it doing that. It's unlikely it's going to hit what it needs to hit effectively, but I'm not going to complain that it's trying. Well, that wasn't ever going to work. Yeah, we would not be able to do it from this range with the other build. Tell you that much. Tell you that for free. I think it's still trying to ricochet into the eye, which is pretty cool. Sniper turrets, okay. Yep, there we go. There's something we can deal with.
By the beer! The caretaker is launching turret at glowing bits! Not so accurate, are you?
Price again for no reason. I know it's not going to work.
Detonation success! Focus fire on the caretaker's eye! Really much better now. Shield!
Is that a sniper turret? It's a patrol bot. I mean, look, in some ways, by the way, using this the way I've done it, like with the accuracy in tier 1 and weak point damage, not a bad idea. It just feels like, you know, I didn't like the idea of sacrificing damage and ammo, I think is what it came down to. So I think there are more granular ways of using it. I don't think I've shown the only two ways of using this overclock at all. Especially given that I said earlier about, you know, blow through. It's not a bad idea. You can do that. I'm not sure I'd recommend it, but you could definitely do it. Shredders? Face bombs. I wouldn't have minded shredders. Shredders would have been good.
Teleporting bastard can reach you anywhere! Destroy the bat!
I don't know why I keep throwing them. Oh, actually hit a couple. Oh, okay. Maybe there is a point to it. Maybe there is a point to all this.
Shoot the caretaker's big glowing eye! Shield placed!
Okay, let's do it. I think it, oh no, actually no, it won't still electrocute me. Oh no, it will. It will. That's a good thing to show because I think that people don't. It's very easy to avoid that electrocution attack, so I think it's good to know how much damage it actually does. Because I think it's pretty easy to go your entire time playing the game without actually getting hit by it.
Stand back. Supply pod inbound.
Beautiful.
Resupply pod is here. Everybody collect ammunition. Data rack secured.
Finally, the data rack is secured, and you've ended their prospecting in this area. Damn fine work. Call in a pod from the mule to get you home.
I'm taking some of the ammo.
Anyway, allowed to let spray. Yeah, it is a very strong overclock. I think it's pretty easy to build it to the point where it's reliable, despite its big accuracy penalty. And it's interesting because it's such a high amount of damage that you'd think, like, what's the point of using anything else? But I still think there definitely is. Accuracy is punishing, even on this, even where I've taken the accuracy mod, it's still noticeably worse than base. So I definitely think there are other better options. Not that many better options, but I think there are better options, and there are other options of equal viability. But it is a very strong and fun overclock. As in, it probably is the most fun way of using the Burt. I can definitely acknowledge that. And I think I'm putting forward here 2 ways to build it that makes sense. Good starting point, certainly. And if you want to go towards blow free, or you want to go for this build, but with the weak point damage instead of ammo, worth trying that as well. It's less. I think it is less restrictive than I realised. I think you definitely need a primary that covers for its weaknesses, but within itself, I think you should have a fair bit of leeway. So yeah, definitely recommend it. It's pretty good. And with that, time to say goodbye. If you enjoyed this episode of Overclock Showcase, then please make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see more stuff like this and you want to stay on top of everything to Deep Rock and Rocal, also make sure to click the bell. And as always, thank you to our wonderful member, BoxFox Scoot. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to find out what next week's Overclock is going to be. Also, doing an industrial sabotage in half an hour flat is pretty good. That's fairly quick. Yeah, like I said, I jumbled up the order, which means next week is Sabata. Thrilling, I know. And now, how we do this. If you haven't seen this before, I'll briefly explain. Basically, first of all, I'm going to pick who's going to get the shaft here. I think it's actually, let's kind of started on this guy. Let's go with this guy. Nobody overclocks left to right, top to bottom. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've already done homebrew powder, so 2 is knocked out of the equation, which means we're left with 1 through, well, yeah, all of them except 2. So yeah, spin the wheel. And yeah, so I spin the wheel and then it will tell me which one based on the number. Oh, is that 1 or 3? I think it's 1. Are you sure? I guess it's 3, but that looks like 1 to me. Alright. Number 3. Tranquilizer rounds. No problem using tranquilizer rounds. I like it quite a bit, so next week. Now it's time to have our government-approved beverage. What suits lead spray the best? Blackout style.
Might as well skip straight to the hangover. Blackout, he gems my ass. I could use a day off, but not today.